Hey guys, Joe here. Just want to say thank you to all the viewers who've watched my marathon up until this point, even if it was for 6 seconds and you clicked out. Means a lot to me. This marathon has been a nightmare for me, but hopefully I brought some sense of enjoyment to you guys. If not, then sorry, I guess. If I did contribute something positive with this marathon, why not subscribe to this channel? Would be nice to know I didn't do this marathon in vain. Well, that certainly was an ending. Or not, since spoilers alert, they're building for a season 2. This episode picks up from the end of episode 8, with Spike all beat up, but Anna and Gren scoop him up. One thing leads to another, and Jet gets involved when Vicious kidnaps his daughter. The rest of the episode is just a big action sequence that pays homage to the finale of the anime. I won't say any more just yet due to spoilers, but this was a really weak episode and finale. Even outside of being an adaptation of an anime, the writing in general is really weak and it haunts them for the finale. I guess I'll give my general thoughts about this series as a whole first, and then I'll dive into the spoilers of this finale. All in all, do I regret binge watching this show and doing 10 reviews? Yeah, kinda. This show is not that good, and it's basically what all the critics say. It's a mixed bag. I've mentioned it in one of these reviews, but when the show works, it really works. And when it doesn't, it's really bad. In terms of the actors, I think they all do their parts pretty well. John Cho as Spike Spiegel is good. He can capture his more comedic and lighthearted side. What he can't do is portray the tortured soul element. When he needs to look sad or haunted by his past, he just has a dull look on his face. John Cho is also way too old to portray Spike. Weird anime ages aside, some of the lighting on John Cho just highlight his wrinkles and he looks so old. Especially in the flashback in episode 9, with his hair pulled back and there's no hiding his age. Mustafa Shakir is an amazing Jet Black, and he was perfect casting to me. He got the voice and the mannerisms down, and at no point did I question his performance or casting choice. The way they rewrote him to be a lot nicer also helps make Mustafa's portrayal way more memorable. Daniela Pineda as Faye Valentine is also good. She has the wisecracks and sarcasm down, but the way the show wrote her to be more childish and loud was a bit off-putting. In the anime, Faye was a mature, shrewd money lover, but in this show, she comes off more as like a hip teenager with attitude. One thing that I do like about Faye is how they changed up her dynamic with Spike and Jet. In the anime, Spike was distant to her, and Jet was indifferent. In this show, though, the two are shown to welcome her with open arms after a messy start, and treat her like family, which I really liked. Faye always felt like a drifter in the anime, but she really feels like a part of the Bebop crew in the show. Aina is perfectly cast and amazing in all the scenes, so there's no complaints there. The rest of the actors are okay except for Vicious and Julia. If you've watched all 10 reviews, you know I'm not the biggest fan of what they did to Vicious. He became a cartoon ham and cheese villain with no backbone. The acting is also really stiff, but given his dialogue, I really don't blame Alex Hassel for it. Elena Satine as Julia is really bad too. She always just had this wide-eyed stare into the distance, and her line delivery is just as bad. Overall, as an adaptation to the anime, it obviously fails. Some neat ideas, and it was cool to see certain aspects in live action, but ultimately, it's a pointless adaptation. The things they do differently are kinda major, but actually dumb down the whole show when you think about it. Normally, you would change things to either simplify a plot point or make it more accessible for a wider audience. But if they adapted the anime straight up, it'd actually be more coherent and meaningful. It's puzzling why they even bothered to change some of the major details, like Spike and Vicious's past. The ending itself is also really bizarre, but more on that later. Anyways, as a standalone Netflix original sci-fi series with no source material, this show is equally as bad. The pacing is all over the place, the dialogue is really bad at times, and certain major characters get little to no development, so when they do get their focus, it feels abrupt. The way the show was shot too was really bad. Like I mentioned in my first review, just tons of different styles and camera tricks with no rhyme or reason. The whole series just felt disjointed. So do I recommend this series? Yes, I would recommend it, but only to watch episode 7 if you're remotely interested, regardless if you're a fan of the anime or not. If you have no interest in the show at all, but hear people talk about it, just skip it, it's not worth it. Well, with that said, let's talk spoilers for episode 10. Ready? Don't say I didn't warn you. So, the finale plays out just the same as the anime, except this time, Vicious doesn't die. Instead, he points a gun to Spike, but Julia, of all people, shoots him from behind. That's right, Julia never dies in this version of the story. Instead, she goes mad with power and wants to take over the syndicate. Why? I have no idea why. She mentions how Spike made her this way, but that makes no sense since the two just reunited. She then asks Spike to join her, but he says no. So naturally, she shoots him out of a church window and takes Vicious hostage for some reason. This whole Julia plot twist is also really stupid and felt like something they did to shock the fans, and not because it was actually good storytelling. Julia herself was such a non-factor throughout the show that this ending just reeks of expectations subverted. Anyways, the Bebop gang disbands and Spike is left drifting drunk on his ass. Then the biggest twist of all happens. Edward Wong Hao Peplu Terwuski IV shows up in person. That's right, they actually brought Ed to life in live action. And good lord, they should have just left her out of this. No offense to the actor, but the wig for her hair is absolutely terrible. Not to mention how annoying the kid and editing are. Like, I get it, but some things aren't meant to be adapted. At first, I thought it was just a hallucination on Spike's part, and it was like a little tee-hee cameo for fans, because Ed looks so comically terrible with her stupid wig and her goggles on. Anyways, this leads to season 2 of a show that didn't need a season 2. Having said that, we're finally finished. The nightmare is over. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you somehow watched all of these, please leave a comment so I know I didn't kill my voice in vain. Like and subscribe too if you want to show me some love and support. I would really appreciate it. Anyways, guys, thanks so much. Love you. Bye.